case anyone? This is the worst. The people in our green room, I'm happy to say it's clear they've never been high. I want to ask you what's wrong with this picture. Chicago is trying to fix $50 million budget, their budget gap by taxing car rentals in suburban areas. And now California is talking about legalizing marijuana and taxing marijuana to solve their budget problems. Rob Kampia is the executive director for the Marijuana Policy Project. How you doing, Rob?
Doing well.
All right. You smoke marijuana? You have any of those marijuana?
Occasionally.
Occasionally? It's against the law, you know.
Yeah, so speeding, and a lot of people do that also.
Wow. Okay. You used to work for Normal, did you not?
Yes.
Yes.
14 years ago.
14 years ago? And is it true that you quit working with Normal because they were stoned all the time and that's all they really wanted to do is get high? They weren't serious about changing the laws?
No, everyone there is very serious about changing the laws.
Really? Okay.
The reason that I left and started up the Marijuana Policy Project is because I wanted to focus almost exclusively on lobbying and ballot initiatives.
Okay. So tell me, because look, I'm a libertarian. You want to legalize marijuana, you want to legalize drugs, that's fine. We have to have a different conversation in America, and that conversation is, hey, America, you know, forget about the whole health care thing, because if somebody's doing heroin, somebody's doing pot, and, I mean, pot just rips your lungs up. If you want to do pot, that's great, but I ain't giving you any health care. And that's good. I'd rather do that. You be as high as you want. I ain't giving anybody health care. Can we have that discussion, Rob?
Well, we can, but marijuana, first of all, doesn't rip up your lungs. It doesn't cause lung cancer or emphysema. So I think that's an old wives' tale.
How about heart attacks? Because, I mean, cookies. I've got cookies.
There's no scientific evidence that associates marijuana use with an increased likelihood of death.
Okay, Rob, yes, but, I mean, look, I'm just going to be straight with you, American. This is not something I'm proud of, but I did inhale. I'm a recovering alcoholic. I did everything you could possibly do, and it wasn't really, I mean, there's like actually, there's two brain cells up in my head. One's just going, breathe, dummy, and the other one's just like scattering around trying to figure everything out. You can't tell me that marijuana is good for your health.
Well, I mean, it is good for some people's health. I mean, you know probably full well that marijuana is used for cancer chemotherapy treatments, AIDS wasting syndrome. If you got
cancer, I'm going to give you marijuana. That's okay. You got cancer, I'm going to give you marijuana. Look, here's the thing. You want to legalize drugs, legalize drugs. But now what we're talking about is legalizing pot so we can make money. The reason why I'm bringing this story to you tonight, America, is because this is how it's all going to happen. Quick, panic, we're out of money. Let's sell pot. So why don't we have a real conversation here instead of one about an emergency spending problem?
I think we should. I mean, taxing marijuana is only one good reason why marijuana prohibition should be brought to an end. There's a few other good reasons. One is the prohibition of marijuana over the last 71 years has not actually prevented people, including you, from using marijuana. So if we know that this government program called prohibition doesn't work, maybe after 71 years it's time for a new approach. I'll give you one other good reason to end prohibition, and that is currently the police are spending an enormous amount of time on marijuana arrests, 872,000 arrests a year. That's not good for public safety. It'd be better nationwide.
Have you ever been to New York, Rob? You've been to New York?
All the time.
Yeah. I am not kidding you. I have walked down the streets and there's somebody like smoking pot next to a cop. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, there are more than 40,000 marijuana arrests in New York every year, so I don't want the viewers to think that marijuana is essentially legal in New York, because that's certainly not the case.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying that it's legal in New York. I'm sure that there are arrests, you know, if you got a big... No, seriously, if you've got like a big bag of it or something, but you're telling me you've never... Well, you're not a good... Of course, you've seen people smoking on the street. I've seen them smoking on the streets. It's not like it's tying up a lot of police time. Police are like, he's smoking a joint. Let's move on with our life.
All I can tell you is what the FBI says, which is 872,000 marijuana arrests last year, and about 750,000 of those arrests were for simple possession, personal possession. It's an enormous wear and tear on our criminal justice system. And I think that anyone who cares about public safety would rather have the police freed up to deal with and prevent crimes like assault, theft, rape, murder, etc. I mean, that's a no-brainer. And right now, the police aren't able to deal with all the crimes that are happening across the country. So why not take them off this marijuana nonsense?
Look, Rob, here's the thing. I have no problem, as a libertarian, I have no problem talking to you about these kinds of things. I think marijuana is bad for you. I know. I did it. Stupid to do. However, we'll have that conversation, not the conversation that California is currently having, which is, oh my gosh, we've got to raise some money. Why don't we tax pot over here? Because California, the largest cash crop in California is
marijuana.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much.
And, you know, you bring up a good point there, which is that, you know, with alcohol, which isn't great for you, being taxed and regulated, tobacco obviously kills, that's taxed and regulated. Most products in our society are taxed and regulated. If someone actually believes that marijuana is really bad for you, then why would you want that product not regulated? I mean, it seems like that's exactly the kind of thing that should be regulated, right?
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. If you're ready for more blood to shoot